What is going on, everyone? So today I'm going to be showing you my Earthquake build. This is a all ground type, mono type GLC deck. So this is one of those decks that I've been building and I've been working on it for a couple of months now. And if I'm being honest, it's the deck that I've been using the most this year. It's the one that I've had the most fun with, and nothing too crazy. You've probably all seen it, or have you seen a very similar list? It's still Earthquake, but I've added my twist to it, my little flavor to it. There's always cards that I change in between weeks, but for the most part, most of the deck stays the same. Obviously, every time we have a new set, there's a couple of cards that get added. For the next set, we're probably going to change a couple things, but I'll show you what I have, and I hope that you can hopefully build it, make it maybe your own. Definitely try it out and just see if you enjoy it. Definitely let me know in the comments if there's a specific type of deck that you would like me to go over or to test out. I still have a couple of decks that I've made that I haven't shown, so I'll probably will be sending and posting those over Discord and over the YouTube channel soon. Hopefully my team back in Team Moo Milk, they'll probably make their own videos. So for now, I've been the one that I've been posting the most, but hopefully they'll be posting their list soon. So let's get right to it. So the first card that I wanted to showcase was the first card that I included and that you've been watching at the beginning of this video, which is the Dugtrio. So Dugtrio is probably my favorite card to play in this deck. He's just so fun. He's so cool. He's so cute. It's the reason why I actually sort of started building the deck. Dugtrio is not even one of my favorite Pokemon, but the artwork for this card is just so pretty. It reminds me of Yoshi's Island because of the Dugtrio artwork, and it's very, very cute, very, very fun, and it's really nice in today's meta. So today in today's meta, we have colorless being really strong. We have darkness being really strong. We have really good rogue electric decks and the Thunder Gym coming up in many tournaments nowadays. And with water being one of the strongest decks also in the format and one of the strongest decks, then we with this deck, you can hit for weakness. So all these attacks, like the one that Dugtrio has, where for 1 energy you're hitting for 50, it becomes 100. If you have strong energy, it becomes even stronger, right? If with a strong energy or a muscle band, you're already at 70, so you're hitting for 141 energy on your second turn, which is ridiculous. If you play cards like Wally, you could be hitting with 140 in the beginning of your first turn, which is insane, right? So definitely this is the card that I've been using the most. So definitely try it out. The cool thing about this dig attack is that you flip a coin. If it's heads during your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage from and effects of attacks done to this Pokemon. So it's super strong. The fact that it basically gets invulnerability after an attack, which is super good, and it has won me many games. What's cool about this build specifically is that a lot of times you've been seeing players using the Hitmo deck a lot, and the problem with that is that Hitmos have gone and have become really strong with the new Okie Dokie card, and it's a deck that is very famous in the community. There's a lot of people that are big fans of that gym, but it's really weak against Psychic. And Psychic right now is one of the strongest decks in the format, right there with darkness, with colorless, with water. So having a deck where you're not only hitting really strong against basically what's in the meta, but you're not weak to one of the strongest decks in the meta, because a lot of these cards are either weak to water or most of them are weak to grass, if not all of them. Okay, so enough about Dugtrio. Spent a lot of time talking about him, but definitely test him out. As for the Diglett has the same dig ability. I picked this one because it also had the dig attack, and it's really cool because you flip a coin, it does only 10 damage, but if it heads during your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage from and effects of attacks done to this Pokemon. So it almost looks like it's the same Pokemon that evolved, which is really cool. It's the reason why I played it. I almost wish this card had free retreat, but I think it would be perfect. It'd be a perfect card if it had free retreat. So I'm actually happy that you could attach U-turn board and it basically becomes free retreat forever. So really, really nice. So then we play the Palo Sand and the Sandy Gas. This is a very strong Pokemon that we are looking at in the format. So the Sandy Gas, having that strong attack of Astonish to choose a random card from your opponent's hand, and your opponent reveals that card, shuffles it into the deck. Sometimes can come in clutch. It's also a funny card when you're playing against friends and you don't care about attacking with it. It can actually cost them the game if you hit some very, very strong cards at the beginning of the game. But then you have Palo Sand that can start doing 30 damage against everything, to everything in the field, and by the second turn you're hitting already with 60 damage, and you're probably KOing a bunch of Pokemons in the format right now. Plus it has 140 HP, which is huge. You can also use the Land Crush ability if you get it to 3 energies, and it has 3 energy costs for retreat costs, so you can get it with Heavy Ball, which is really nice. We also have I'm gonna move this right here. We also have the Yamask and the Runerigus, the Galarian Runerigus. Sorry if I'm butchering the name. Really cool card. Again, this is an Earthquake deck, as you're going to see in the next couple of Pokemon. And we're obviously going to be using this guy to do some spread damage. And if we are not getting to those magic numbers like 70, like 80, like 90, we're definitely going to get him. We're going to get them with these guys. It's also really nice because you can do 120 if you get 3 energies with it. We are playing Reversal Energy in this deck, so it comes in clutch a lot. Really cool. Worst case scenario, you could play Reversal Energy and then follow it with just a normal energy. So you're still able, even if you were going ahead in prices, you can still use Spreading Sprite, which is really nice with Reversal Energy because it counts as a color less energy, which is pretty cool. And then you have one of the strongest Pokemon in the deck, that Onix and that Steelix, which get stronger as more counters get attached, right? Get dealt into it. So he's really good for the Earthquake build. If you are using things like Cape, he becomes super strong. I've been able to hit for massive amounts of damage, people trying to KO it, and then I also have Cape on it, so it becomes really, really strong. You also have the Phanpy and the Donphan. The reason why we play this Phanpy is because it has 70 HP, so we can get it with Body Puffings, and obviously this Donphan, it just wins you games. Definitely try 1 energy Earthquake. This attack does 20 damage to each of your bench Pokemon, but it does 120 for only 1 energy. Really strong card. As another Earthquake attacker, we have the Barboach and the Wishcash. Just like some of the Pokemon that we have here, we have something very similar to Dig called Hide. You flip a coin. If it heads during your opponent's next turn, prevents all damage from an effect of attacks done to this Pokemon. So it has a really cool ability that sometimes if you're going second, you can attack, and it's basically, right, your opponent can't really hit the card, which is super nice. And you also have Wishcash, which for 2 energies does 140 damage, and it has 140 HP, so it becomes a really, really strong Pokemon while also powering up your bench. Okay. As for the last card, we are playing Ting Lu, and Ting Lu is an amazing card, not only because it gets rid of those annoying stadiums, but again, just being able to weaken your opponent's board, while also without taking any prices for you to then get things like Reversal Energy. It's really, really nice. You can activate your teammates, you can activate your Raihan, so you can actually do a bunch of damage and basically be ahead in damage without being ahead in prices. So it's a very, very good card. It's also a basic. It has 3 energy retreat costs, so you could get with Heavy Ball. So definitely I definitely recommend it in the deck. Really nice. So just to recap, we have Ting Lu, Wishcash, we have the Donphan, we have Steelix, we have Galarian Vernidulus, we have Palo Sand, and my favorite card of the deck, Duck Trio. Okay, so that's it for the Pokemon lineup. As for the starters, we have Corina, we have Cynthia, we have Rhyme, we have Birdkeeper, Tata, Avery. There we go. We also have Raihan, Professor Sycamore, and then we have non-full art cards because I have them in other decks. We have Ball Guy, we have Teammates, we have Marnie, Guzma, Green, and Arven. Okay, so the whole idea is that we don't play things like, oh, this guy doesn't play Guzma and Hala. Yeah, so the problem is that upon testing, after many games, you realize that you either want cards that get you exactly what you need, or you basically want to make sure that you always have cards in your hand. So as long as you can attach your an energy to your Pokemon, as long as you don't run out of cards, you should be okay into winning the game. So a lot of times, a lot of players actually lose because they try to get really fancy with fighting, and unfortunately, although you can get really fancy with fighting, it's always very dangerous to try to get really fancy, because if your opponent plays, something like an N or something like a Judge or Mars Shadow, which is very popular, and you end up with 4 cards, you need to make sure that those 4 cards can, get you to what you actually need to do to play the game. So you basically just want to always have the necessary cards in hand to be able to attach and attack, because it is basically a sort of beat down sort of deck. Although you do some spread, it's a very aggressive sort of build. So those are the supporters that I ended up with. You could definitely try them with yourself. Definitely switch them up. Let me know what you think. All right. So let's see here. Okay. So we do play a couple of Pokeballs. So we are playing Team Magma Great Ball. We're basically only playing this to get us, in order for it to get us an energy. So again, we just want consistency. And because we are playing Ball Guy, sometimes we just want a ball that can get us an energy. So even if it's just a 1-for-1, it definitely comes in clutch. But you could also try things like Spinner. It's also really nice because if you open it, you already have 3 turns. You don't have to worry about energy. So I'm always changing those two here and there, depending on how I feel, or if I played a couple of games where I needed the Great Ball more or I needed the Spinner more. I switch them all the time, but most of the time this has been the go-to card, and I've enjoyed it. Even if it's a 1-for-1, we play the Heavy Ball, we play that Timer Ball, we play the Level Ball, we play that Quick Ball, the Hisuian Heavy Ball, and the Nest Ball, right? Now, one of those cards that is not really a Pokeball, but it's almost like a Pokeball, is Buddy Puffins, right? So we want to get those basics, and you can get Diglett, you can get Yamask, you can get Fampi, you can get Barboach, right? So you definitely have a good amount of cards, a good amount of Pokemon that you can get them. You can get with Buddy Puffins. You also have your Pokegear for consistency, Trainer Mail for consistency, Professor's Letter for consistency, Stadium Nav for consistency, Adventure Bag, and even Versus Seeker, right? So you really want, so these are all cards. I guess you could take out Versus Seeker here and you just put Evolution Incense. So basically these are cards that they speed up your deck by getting you exactly what you need. They're repetitions of cards that you already have in the deck, so you want to make sure that you get to those cards more consistent than any other deck, right? Because again, this is a beatdown deck, and so far I've enjoyed it, so I'm going to continue playing those cards. As for other cards or supporter cards, we have Versus Seeker, which is really important. I am playing Starling Megaphone again because there are a lot of decks that are using a lot of items right now, and sometimes just taking, removing only 1 or 2 is not enough, but removing all Pokemon tool cards can become clutch. Plus we're playing Ting Lu, so if there are, plus we have our own stadium cards, so stadiums aren't a big problem for us. We play Escape Rope, because we have a lot of heavy guys. And then we have a couple of tool cards. So we are playing Cape, which is really, really nice. We are playing XP Share and Floatstone. And for the last techie card that I am right now testing, and I've enjoyed it so far, it might change in the future. It's probably the only card, or one of the cards, that I'm constantly switching out. It's bodybuilding dumbbells. So this is one of those cards that I can definitely say it has won me many games. Just because they're so heavy, they're so problematic, that you really want to optimize every single attack. And if I can survive one more turn because of that extra 10 HP, 20, 30, or 40 HP, then it can actually win me the game in the long run, just because of that one turn where the Pokemon survive, which is really nice. As for stadiums, we play Silent Love because we still have some sort of spread theme in the deck. We play Brooklyn Hill and we play Viridian Forest, I guess, again, for the consistency. Yeah, we're discarding a card, but if we are always attaching an energy in fighting, then we are definitely ahead, right? We never want to not attach an energy, because we can maybe afford to miss maybe one, okay? So maybe one turn without hitting an energy, but a couple of those and it could actually cost you the game. As for energies, we play 1, we play 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fighting basic energies, and then we play that special strong energy as well as a twin energy. And the last energy would be reversal energy, which has come in clutch so many games, and I've enjoyed it. I always feel really safe knowing that I have this card in the deck, with things like, for example, the Palosan for 120, that Steelix for Earthquake 180. You have the Runerigus with Mad Hammer for 120. You have the Heavy Impact for 90 without hitting your Pokemon. You have your Wish Cash for 140, and you have that Hammer in, which you can't really use again because, because he's a basic, right? So you can't really use reversal energy on him, but you can attach a reversal energy into Ting Lu, because I've had many scenarios where he has EXP Share and he has an energy already, something dies, gets an energy, and then I get reversal energy just because it has 2 fighting energies and a colorless, and I can attack for that magical 110 damage. So I keep debating whether or not to play EXP Share or Muscle Band. Bodybuilding dumbbells or Muscle Band. Right now it's one of those cards that I switch every once in a while. I'm always back and forth, and I realized that I preferred my card to survive more than actually doing that damage, right? Because again, we're hitting for massive amounts of damage to most of the meta, right? So I'm hitting for weakness, multiplying by 2. So sometimes I just need my Pokemon to stay another turn, and I prefer it. But let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed the deck profile. I tried to go as fast as possible. We're already almost at 20 minutes. So if you really have any questions about the deck and you want to try it out, you have other cards that you prefer playing than what I'm playing right now, definitely hit me up in Discord. I'm always there. I love to discuss the deck profile and to see what other people have built or what other people recommend. All right, so I'll see you guys later, and I hope you enjoyed the deck profile.